right, so the Associate Degree for Transfer program came about in probably 2012, I think. And the reason why these degrees were created was students were complaining that they were completing things at the community college, transferring, and then being told that what they took wasn't enough and they needed to take the class at the California State University. And so legislators got involved, and this is what came of it. And it's gotten better over the years. It used to be a little bit more difficult, but now it's more of a streamlined process. So what the Associate Degree for Transfer is allowing you to do is to complete your requirements to earn an AA degree while completing requirements you need to transfer to a CSU and now to some California privates as well as some out-of-state campuses will take these as well. And so what you're doing is you're completing general education as well as major prep for the degree at the CSU. If you look at the degrees at SRJC, you'll see some of them will say AAT or AST, that's an Associate Degree for Transfer, and some of them just say AA or AS, Associate of Arts or Associate of Science. And so if it doesn't have the T next to it, it's not one of the degrees that would be accepted by the CSU to meet your major prep and your general education. Okay, and what we do in the Transfer Center is we work backwards with students. We like to see, okay, what does the university want you to have? And then we'll present, this is what you would need to do to earn the associate's degree, or does it make more sense to go with the ADT from the beginning? So we'll help you through this, okay? It's beneficial for students who are preparing for impacted CSU majors or campuses. So, for example, San Diego State, they actually created specific ADT majors. So if you look at the psychology applied major, that was created for ADT students. And so as an ADT student, you have to apply to the applied major of psychology at San Diego State for them to match, okay? And with San Diego State, they accept their ADT students first before taking their non-ADT students if it exists for that major. So for a major like engineering, it's not going to be there because there is no ADT. It's also helpful for students who are applying to several CSU campuses. So if you have a list of 6 or 7 schools, instead of going to Assist to see, well, what does each of those schools want, you start with the ADT if you're a CSU-bound student to see, well, is the ADT accepted at the majority of those schools? And if so, you just earn the ADT and that meets your major prep, okay? And so there is this ADT search program, and it looks like this. And this is on the Transfer Center website. So you start with your major. So if your major is, let's say, Ag Business, and you're at Santa Rosa, and you want to go to, let's say, Chico, and you're also looking at Fresno and Cal Poly. And then you'll say Submit. And so when we look at this, you'll see that Chico accepts the Ag Business Associate Degree for Transfer from Santa Rosa for their Ag Business major as well as their Ag Science and Education major. Fresno accepts it for their Ag Business program. Okay, so if you're applying to these 2 campuses for one of these majors, you're good. You can follow Assist and, you can get the ADT and be done with your major prep. What's missing is Cal Poly. Cal Poly only accepts the ADT for about 5 or 6 majors, I think. So we would have to look at Cal Poly's information to then cross-reference with the ADT to see, okay, what else do you need to take? So it does make things quite helpful when you're applying to multiple campuses. So your to earn the associate's degree, you're going to complete 60 transferable units. You have to have at least 18 units within the major. You have to have a GE sheet done, and you need at least that 2.0 GPA. You're going to be granted priority admission at a CSU in a similar bachelor's degree program, okay? So those ones that were listed is what it's being accepted for. You will then only have to complete 60 more units at a CSU. So if you go to a CSU and they say, well, you need this lower division coursework, it's then part of your 60 to earn your degree, okay? So you can't be at 63. It does not guarantee admission to a particular campus or major. So what it does is it guarantees a spot within the CSU system, but it's not guaranteeing you a spot at Cal Poly San Luis. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that if you change your major or add a minor, the ADT can be void, okay? Because you may have now more to do outside of this 60 units in order to graduate. All right, next up we will talk about general education.